If this video found you, don't skip it. Your soul has waited for this moment for entire lifetimes. In the next few seconds, I'm going to give you the key to unlock a new level of consciousness. A frequency that, according to the records of Thoth, only 3% of humanity can access. This isn't an empty promise. The fact that you're here is proof that you've gone through a secret test, a cosmic selection process that qualified you for what's about to come. Every challenge, every pain, every moment when you almost gave up was a quantum checkpoint. And you passed. Now, pay close attention. What I'm about to reveal will permanently shift your reality. There's no turning back. Once you unlock this level, you won't be able to go back to living on autopilot. But there's a condition, a side effect that has already started showing up in your life and that most people ignore. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to show you exactly what that side effect is, how it proves that you were chosen, and how to use this unlocking to finally take control of your reality. The secret is hidden in the last part of this video. If you feel like you've been called, comment now, "I'm ready for the next level." You know, oh man, that space is only created within time, and that time does not exist except as the movement of consciousness through space. You've passed all the tests and proved that you're ready. But this readiness comes with an irreversible side effect. Your perception of reality has already started to shift in ways you may have noticed but not fully understood. And the first sign is how time itself is behaving around you. This readiness you've achieved begins to show its first effects in what you once considered the most unchangeable constant in your life: time. Have you noticed how entire days can pass in the blink of an eye when you're immersed in something you love, in a state of creative flow? And, conversely, how a single minute can stretch into eternity during a moment of deep introspection or a powerful insight? This isn't your imagination playing tricks on you. It's a confirmation sign that your consciousness is beginning to break free from the tyranny of linear time, the clock that traps the ordinary mind. These distortions are proof that you're shifting frequencies. Thoth, in his teachings, describes that for the master, time does not move, for it exists in a stationary state. It is consciousness that travels through it. As you raise your vibration, you begin to move through time in a non-linear way, perceiving what the Hermetic principle of rhythm calls the ebb and flow of the universe. You're no longer being swept away by the current of time. You're learning to ride its waves, to feel its patterns, and to anticipate its movements from a higher and more conscious perspective. Alongside the elasticity of time comes a cascade of synchronicities, seeing repeating numbers like 1111, thinking of someone and receiving a message from them seconds later, finding the solution to a problem on a billboard or in a stranger's words. These are not happy coincidences. They are markers on your path, the universe winking at you, confirming that you're aligned with a greater flow of intelligence. Each synchronicity is a data point, evidence that the separation between your inner world and the outer world is dissolving. Reality is beginning to speak to you in a language of symbols and perfectly orchestrated events. The people around you have also become a mirror of this change. Have you noticed how some individuals feel magnetically drawn to you, sharing their deepest stories without any apparent reason? Or how others seem strangely uncomfortable in your presence, reacting to your energy in ways they can't even explain? This happens because your energetic signature has changed. You now emit a frequency that naturally exposes truth. something deeply comforting to those seeking authenticity and extremely triggering for those hiding behind masks. Your mere presence has become a catalyst. These phenomena are neither random nor imaginary. They are symptoms of a profound internal recalibration. Your consciousness is expanding its ability to perceive the more subtle layers of reality, the ones that operate beyond the five physical senses. You're beginning to see the invisible threads that connect all things, to feel the rhythmic pulse of the cosmos in your own life. The central explanation is that you're not going crazy. You're actually becoming more sane, more aligned with the true nature of existence, which is fluid, interconnected, and intelligent. These signs are just the surface, the most concrete and strange proof that your consciousness has reached a new level of power isn't in your mind or your perceptions, but in how inanimate objects and the technology around you have started to respond directly to your thoughts. Is your mind controlling technology? The physical proof. The most shocking proof that your consciousness is operating at a new frequency is not subtle. It's physical, tangible, and, to the logical mind, completely impossible. Think about recent moments when technology seemed to read your thoughts. The phone that rings at the exact moment someone's name crosses your mind. The answer to a question that was tormenting you showing up in your feed, even though you never searched for it. Lights flickering or devices malfunctioning when you're in a state of anger or intense stress. This is not a glitch in the system. It's the system responding to you. This interaction is a modern demonstration of the first and most fundamental Hermetic principle. The all is mind, the universe is mental. If reality as a whole is a projection of the cosmic mind, then your individual mind, being a spark of that same source, carries within it the same creative power. What you're witnessing is not magic, but law in action. As your consciousness becomes more coherent and focused, it begins to emit a vibration so clear and powerful that it can influence the electromagnetic fields that govern the physical and digital world around you. You are practicing, perhaps unknowingly, the art of mental transmutation. The alchemists weren't just trying to transform metals, they sought to master the art of changing their own mental vibration, knowing that this would alter external reality. That's exactly what you're doing. By focusing your intention, you are altering the frequency of your energy field, and the universe, which is mental in its essence, has no choice but to respond. You are no longer a passive receiver of information, you are becoming an active transmitter of intention, and technology is just one of the mirrors reflecting this new power. This ability to interact with the field of information also gives you access to a much vaster repository of knowledge. The ancient mystics called it the Akashic records. Thoth referred to them as the records etched into the very essence of time, where every thought, emotion, and action from all of existence is stored. Your consciousness, now with greater coherence, is able to tune into these records. That's why sometimes you just know things without being able to explain where the knowledge came from. You're not making it up. You're accessing the great library of the universe. This influence over the material world is the ultimate proof that consciousness is not confined within your skull. It is an energy field that extends beyond the body, constantly interacting and communicating with everything that exists. You are not separate from the world. You are a focal point of consciousness within an ocean of intelligence. And the more you purify your own vibration, the clearer and more powerful your ability becomes to cause effects in the world. You are remembering how to use the power that has always been yours by birthright. This ability to influence the physical world didn't appear out of nowhere. It was forged during your hardest moments. Every period of isolation, every painful relationship, it wasn't punishment. It was an advanced and secret training program designed to prepare you for what's coming next. This new ability to interact with reality wasn't a free gift. It was earned in the fire, in the darkest moments of your journey. Every painful experience, every relationship that broke you, every period of deep loneliness and confusion was not a mistake by the universe or divine punishment. It was, in fact, a phase of integration, a resilience training program designed by your own soul. You were being prepared to handle a level of power that, without proper maturity, could destroy you. The suffering was your secret training ground. Think about the most challenging relationships of your life. Those people who triggered your deepest wounds, who pushed you to the edge of your patience and forgiveness. They weren't your enemies. Unconsciously, they were your greatest teachers, contracted to teach you how to stay centered in the middle of intense energetic exchanges. They forced you to develop emotional sovereignty, which is absolutely essential for navigating the higher frequencies of consciousness, where your inner states directly affect those around you. Without that training, your new power would be unstable and dangerous. And the periods of isolation, those deserts of the soul where you felt completely abandoned by the universe. That wasn't abandonment, it was a necessary neurological recalibration. Your consciousness needed time and silence to rewire your circuits, to build new neural pathways capable of supporting expanded perceptions without overwhelming your nervous system. It was in those moments of forced stillness that the greatest upgrades happened, far from the noise of the world, allowing the seeds of wisdom you planted to germinate safely, strengthening your identity so it wouldn't shatter with expansion. This process is the heart of initiatic alchemy, the journey of transforming the lead of raw human experience into the gold of enlightened consciousness. You've gone through the first and most crucial stage, the nigredo. This is the phase of darkness, of dissolution, where the ego is confronted with its own shadow, with its fears and traumas. You were placed in the athanor, the alchemist's furnace, where the heat of life's trials was the necessary fire to purify the raw material of your soul. Every tear, every moment of despair served to burn away the impurities and reveal the indestructible essence of your being. Even your skepticism, your moments of doubt about the entire spiritual path served a crucial purpose. They sharpened your discernment, your ability to distinguish between authentic expansion of consciousness and mere spiritual fantasy or escapism. That clarity is an indispensable tool when accessing subtler realms of existence, because the territory you're entering now demands radical honesty with yourself. You weren't being punished or tested by some external force. You were being meticulously prepared to become a stable and clear vessel for the light. You were trained and prepared. But the system that trained you also hid the most shocking truth of all about the nature of consciousness. The spiritual industry, the books, the gurus, they're all based on a premise that is fundamentally wrong, and this lie is what kept you searching for so long. The great lie, why levels of consciousness don't exist. Now that you understand your suffering was training, We're ready to dismantle the biggest illusion sold by modern spirituality, the lie that kept you stuck in an endless search. The idea that consciousness operates in levels, like a staircase you need to climb step by step, is a fabrication. It's a map that, while it may have been useful in the beginning, has now become the cage itself. The shocking truth, the revelation that flips the entire game, is that there are no levels to reach. The consciousness you seek is the same consciousness you are and always have been. Spiritual development is not a process of addition, of gaining new skills or becoming more conscious. It's a process of subtraction. It's about removing layers of conditioning, limiting beliefs and traumas that obscure the light that is already fully present. Thoth teaches in his tablets, "Man, when you learn that all you seek is already within you, you will be free." The search for levels is a subtle trap of the ego, which loves the idea of progress, of achievement, of feeling more advanced than others. The true journey is not about climbing, it's about remembering. Think about young children. Many of them display intuitive abilities and a connection to the unseen that adults would call advanced. They do this not because they've reached a higher level, but because they haven't yet learned to limit themselves. Their consciousness still operates freely and multidimensionally before the education system and social conditioning teach them to fit into the narrow box of consensual reality. The journey of awakening, then, is not about becoming superhuman, it's about returning to your original nature before the veils of illusion were imposed. The Corpus Hermeticum, one of the pillars of Western wisdom, states that the human soul is made of the same substance as the divine mind, only temporarily obscured by its immersion in the body and the senses. Your essence is already complete, perfect and limitless. The work is not to build a bridge to the divine, but to dismantle the dam that blocks the river of your own divinity from flowing freely. Spiritual practice in this new light changes drastically. It stops being an attempt to reach a special state and becomes a curious investigation into what prevents you from perceiving the natural state that is already yours. This understanding is liberating because it instantly dissolves the anxiety of the search. There is nothing to fix, no one to become. You already are it. The only task is to unlearn the lies you've accepted as truth about yourself. It's a process of de-identification. You are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your story. You are the silent consciousness that observes it all. And when you rest in that perception, the search ends. Because you realize you've always been at the destination. If your consciousness is already whole, why doesn't your reality reflect that? Because understanding it mentally isn't enough. The real activation happens when the physical world starts to reorganize around you. And there are unmistakable signs that this process has already begun for you. The proof that you've internalized this truth isn't an abstract feeling, but a concrete and observable shift in your daily reality. When you stop seeking and simply allow your complete consciousness to express itself, the physical universe begins to respond in a way that feels magical, but is simply the law in action. The first sign is the spontaneous resolution of problems. Situations that used to require weeks of analysis and mental stress now dissolve almost instantly, with solutions that seem to appear out of nowhere, complete and perfect, as if they had been downloaded straight into your mind. Your decision-making also transforms completely. The old mental list of pros and cons, a slow and often torturous process, is replaced by a direct knowing. You simply feel which path is aligned with your deepest truth, even before your rational mind begins to weigh the options. This happens because you're no longer operating from the limited data of your brain, but accessing the infinite intelligence of the quantum field, which perceives all potential outcomes simultaneously. Your intuition becomes your primary guide, and it never fails. This is the direct application of the Hermetic principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. By no longer identifying with the low vibrations of fear and limitation, your personal frequency naturally rises. And according to the principle of correspondence, which states, as above, so below, the universe below your physical reality has no choice but to adjust to mirror your new frequency above your state of consciousness. You're not getting lucky. You are consciously applying the universal laws that govern creation. The world around you begins to conspire in your favor in ways that seem almost comical. The perfect parking spot opens up exactly when you arrive. The person you needed to meet crosses your path at the exact right moment. The money you needed shows up from an unexpected source. This is not the universe rewarding you. It's the universe responding to your coherence. When your energy is aligned and clear, you become an organizing vortex, and reality bends to match your inner certainty, your state of allowing and flow. People also begin to seek you out, not because you position yourself as a guru, but because they feel the clarity and peace that radiate from you. Strangers open up, friends seek your advice, and you find yourself offering the perfect wisdom without even thinking about what to say. The words simply flow through you. You become a beacon, and your light helps others find their way back to themselves. Your presence becomes a service, without you having to try. These signs prove that your individual transformation is underway. But this isn't happening in a vacuum. Your personal evolution is part of an urgent, time-sensitive planetary event. And your role in it is much greater and more critical than you imagine. Your mission in the planetary transition. Your personal transformation, as deep as it is not the final goal. It is your preparation for the real reason you are here at this exact moment in human history. We are living in an era of planetary phase transition, a critical tipping point where humanity's collective consciousness is being forced to evolve. The chaos you see in the world, the crises, the polarization, these are not signs of the end, but the birth pains of a new Earth. They are the collapse of obsolete operating systems of separation, fear, making room for something new, and you, with your sensitivity and awakening journey, are not a mere observer of this event. You are part of the first wave, a vanguard of souls who volunteered to incarnate and anchor this new frequency of consciousness on the planet. Your role is not just to evolve for yourself, but to serve as a pillar of stability, a living transmitter of the new energy. Every time you choose peace over fear, compassion over judgment, you are literally helping build the energetic grid of the new reality, making it easier for millions of others to awaken after you. This is the true meaning of unlocking quantum consciousness. It's not about gaining personal power to manifest ego-based desires. It's about activating a cosmic function. It is the understanding that your individual journey was the rigorous training necessary for you to serve a much greater collective purpose. Thoth, in the Emerald Tablets, speaks extensively about the children of light. souls who incarnate at crucial times to act as beacons, guiding humanity through cycles of darkness and ignorance back to its divine heritage. You are hearing that call now. You are one of those Thoth describes as those who hear the voice of wisdom and respond. Your entire life, with all its challenges and triumphs, was your initiation into this role. You were broken to become unbreakable. You were forced to find your light in the deepest darkness so you could shine for others without wavering. Your mission is not to convert anyone or preach a new doctrine. Your mission is simply to be peace, to be clarity, to be unconditional love in the midst of chaos. And in doing so, raise the vibration of the entire planet through your own resonance. The urgency of this moment cannot be overstated. We are in a cosmic window of opportunity. The future of human experience on this earth depends on how many individuals can awaken and stabilize this new consciousness in time. There are no external saviors coming to do the work for us. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and you, by recognizing and accepting this role, become a conscious agent of evolution, an active partner in the divine plan for this planet. Your life takes on new meaning far beyond personal survival. You were prepared to be an anchor, but to fully activate this function, you must make a fundamental shift in the deepest question humans ask themselves. The search for your life purpose is about to be replaced by a much more powerful understanding. The activation of your cosmic function requires you to abandon one of the greatest sources of anxiety in the human condition, the relentless search for a purpose. That search is born of the illusion that you are a separate entity that needs to find its place in the universe. But the liberating truth is that universal intelligence, the mind of the all, is not an external force you need to align with. It is the essence of what you are. So the question is no longer, what is my purpose? But instead becomes, what does universal intelligence want to express through the unique configuration that is me? This shift in perspective is the peak of the alchemical journey, the phase of rubedo, the final union. It is the moment the alchemist realizes he is not separate from the great work. He is the work itself. He no longer seeks the philosopher's stone because he understands he has become the stone, a conscious and willing agent of divine will, capable of transmuting any situation. You stop struggling to find your path and simply allow the path to be revealed through you, step by step, breath by breath, in total trust. In this state of active surrender, you discover the great turning point. Your deepest personal fulfillment and your most effective service to the world are not two separate things to be balanced. They are the same energy. What brings you the most joy? What puts you in a state of flow? What makes your heart sing? That is precisely your greatest service to the collective. Universal intelligence expresses itself through your joy, your passion, your creativity. Following your happiness is not selfish. It is the highest form of alignment and contribution. This perfectly reflects the Hermetic principle of gender. Everything contains both masculine and feminine energies. The search for purpose is the masculine energy of will, direction, and action. Allowing life to flow through you is the feminine energy of receptivity, nurturing, and creation. When you stop asking and start listening, these two energies merge within you in a sacred marriage. Will and surrender dance together, and from that union is born a life of effortless power, inspired action, and deep meaning. The anxiety of finding your place dissolves because you realize your place has always been here and now. Your purpose is not a destination to reach in the future. It is the quality of consciousness you bring to the present moment. Whether washing dishes, leading a company, or creating art, if you do it with full presence and love, you are fulfilling your highest purpose. The cosmic function is not in the what, but in the how, and the how is always a reflection of your state of being. The Operation Manual of Activated Consciousness. When you stop seeking and start being, a new set of tools becomes available. These aren't skills you need to learn, but natural capacities of your consciousness that can now operate without interference from the ego and fear. The first and most noticeable is your intuition. It becomes so clear and precise that it turns into your main navigation system. You simply know what to do, where to go, what to say. You move through complex situations with effortless wisdom, finding solutions that benefit everyone, even when logic couldn't see a way out. Your creativity explodes into dimensions you never imagined. You stop being an artist who recycles ideas and past experiences and become a channel for the universe's creative intelligence. Ideas, music, solutions, and works of art flow through you with an originality and depth that even surprise you. You recognize that you are not the author of these creations, but the collaborator, a partner of the source in its eternal dance of self-expression. Creative block becomes a distant memory because you are connected to an endless source of inspiration. Your physical health also begins to optimize itself. You start to understand the principle of correspondence on a cellular level, recognizing that your body is a direct reflection of your state of consciousness. Instead of fighting symptoms or forcing wellness routines, you develop a sensitivity to listen to what your body needs at each moment. You naturally feel drawn to the foods, movements, and rest that promote balance, allowing your body's innate intelligence to express and heal itself without interference from an anxious mind. Abundance stops being something you chase and becomes something that flows to and through you. Operating from a consciousness of unity, you dissolve the belief in scarcity, the root of all financial struggle. You recognize yourself as part of the same intelligence that governs all manifestation. As a result, the resources you need, whether money, opportunities, or connections, show up in your life through synchronicities and a graceful flow, exactly when they're needed, often in ways you couldn't have planned. You become a master of mental transmutation, as described in the Kybalion. You learn to consciously choose your vibration and, in doing so, choose the reality you experience. You stop being an effect of circumstances and become a conscious cause. Thoth describes the master as one who knows the law and operates it, instead of being its blind servant. You don't control the universe, but you learn to dance in harmony with its laws, using them to create a life of beauty, purpose, and freedom. The final mastery, the peak of activated consciousness, lies in understanding and mastering the nature of time. You were taught to see time as a straight, relentless line that moves from past to future, dragging you with it. But this is the final veil of illusion. The truth, as the great masters have always known, is that all time exists simultaneously in the eternal moment of now. Past, present, and future are not sequential destinations, but dimensions of experience that coexist and can be accessed from the power point of the present. This is what we can call reality engineering at the level of cause. Instead of trying to change the effects in your life, You learn to travel to the point of origin, the cause. Thoth teaches in his tablets that a master can travel freely to the past or the future, reading the records of time. This is not science fiction. It's the understanding that your consciousness is not trapped at a single point in time. From the silence of now, you can revisit a past event and rewrite its emotional charge, healing trauma at its root and freeing your present from invisible chains. Likewise, you can project yourself into a potential future. You can connect with the version of yourself that has already achieved the mastery you seek, the one who has already solved the problem you're facing. That future version can then send back to your present self the wisdom, clarity, and confidence needed to navigate your current situation. You stop walking blindly and start making decisions from the perspective of your highest timeline, guided by your own future wisdom. This completely transcends the popular concept of the law of attraction. You are no longer just asking the universe and waiting for a result. You are becoming an active, conscious participant in the creation of your timeline. You learn to feel the different frequencies of potential realities and consciously tune your own energy to the frequency of the reality you choose to experience. It's the highest application of the law of cause and effect, where you become the first cause of your life experience. This ability, however, is only safe and effective for a consciousness that has already stabilized in peace and unity, that has already transcended the ego. That's why your entire journey of preparation was necessary. Without the foundation of wisdom and unconditional love, the power to navigate time could be used for selfish ends, creating distortions and karmic consequences. Your readiness, earned through your trials and your healing, is what qualifies you to receive this final key to mastery. The revolution isn't coming, it's here, and it's happening through you. You are no longer a passenger on the journey of life, but the conscious pilot navigating the infinite ocean of existence with wisdom, power, and grace. Welcome to conscious participation in the evolution of existence itself. If you made it this far, leave a comment. I've unlocked my quantum consciousness. That will show that you are truly one of the few who have made it through this entire process. If you'd like to support the channel more directly, there's a special link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute. Any help is very important to me and to the growth of the channel, as it's what allows me to keep spreading this kind of content out there. But know this, just the fact that you watched until the end already helps a lot. You can also share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. And before you go, I've picked a special video for you to continue this journey. Click on the video now showing on the screen, and I'll meet you there.